So the PS4 is scheduled to release late 2013. Let's talk about the top 10 reasons not to buy this system at launch. But before we get to this video, let's get to the question of the day. Alright, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out the answer to the question of the day. Alright, so here's the top 10 reasons why I think you shouldn't buy the PS4 when it comes out at launch. Number 1. It will not support native 4K, which is the next level of high definition resolution. Unfortunately, the PS4 is still going to be stuck in the current gen. If current systems like the 360 and the PS3 are able to have 1080p, which will be the native, supposedly, of the PS4, well, it's pretty much the same level of graphical capabilities. Maybe not the same exact graphics, because obviously the PS4 will feature next-gen technology, but in terms of actual resolution, it'll only support 1080p natively, meaning that it won't have 4K except for these little pictures and the videos. So graphic-wise, in terms of resolution, and trust me, if you've ever seen 4K, it looks absolutely amazing compared to 1080p. There's a noticeable difference. So go check out a 4K video. It looks absolutely sharp and clear, and the detail, it just looks so much more crisp. And we're not going to get that with the PS4. Alright, number 2. Its exclusive games are not exciting nor innovative. Games like Killzone, Shadowfall, Knack, Infamous Second Son, these games are a little too simplistic. If you watch that demo on February 20th, it really didn't look that impressive. I mean, yeah, graphic-wise, Killzone looked great, but in terms of actual gameplay, it's really more of the same typical bland first-person shooter that you could experience in a Call of Duty, Black Ops, or Modern Warfare style game. And then you have a game like Knack, which looks like a pretty average action style game. And as far as the gameplay, it's a little bit gimmicky and the character is kind of quirky, but it doesn't look very revolutionary or too different from what you can find nowadays. What makes this game look so different from something like Sonic Unleashed during the nighttime stages? It looks just as slow and boring as that. I'm sorry, but... And then you have Infamous Second Son. Really, another Infamous game. Let me guess. Each of the characters have a different different power, rather. So it's gonna feel kind of like Infamous with coal and there's electricity, except just different gimmick powers. So it's basically like an X-Men kind of thing. So how is that different? How is that new? You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be more of the same. It's the same titles. There's nothing fresh. Alright, number 3. No backward compatibility for PS3 games. And for that matter, PS2 and even PlayStation 1. Yes, you may be able to cloud stream these games, but you're just streaming titles. You're not really downloading it to your system. And at the same time, you have to basically buy these games again. I highly doubt that Sony's gonna make these games available for free. Especially PS3 games, which you're gonna have to download all over again, and you don't know how limited this function is going to be. How many of these titles are going to be available? Is it just going to be exclusives? How about third-party games? You see what I'm saying? And again, no backward compatibility makes it really, really off-putting and just terrible for the PS4 to not be able to, it should be an entitlement to be able to play a PS3 game on a brand new PlayStation system. Number 4. PS4 will be more expensive compared to the cheaper consoles that are already available. So why buy a PS4 when you can get a much cheaper PS3 or 360 and even the Wii U and save some money and at the same time purchase games for it? I mean, by the time that the PS4 comes out, the PS3 is going to be such a relatively decent bundle, and you can buy a lot of games for that as well and save some money. What are you really missing out on with the PS4? Isn't it just, it's better to play catch up with some of the older generation games that you've missed out on. I mean, why does everything have to be brand new when you purchase it? Why not pick up something that's already established and has a established library of games and a wide selection of titles like the PS3 or the 360? Number 5, the PS4 will receive inferior ports of PC and current generation games. You know, games like Diablo 3, maybe even Watch Dogs. Chances are, because of Sony's history of having inferior ports of games, I have my reservations about how well these third-party games and these ports are going to come across on the PS4. Now, I understand that they don't have the cell anymore and they're using a different engine, but at the same time, a lot of these new systems that come out, you really wonder how messed up, you know, the ports are going to be, how crappy they are, any glitches, bugs. You just never know how horrid some of these ports will be to a brand new console, because developers and developers are still figuring it out. They're still trying to figure out a system and maneuvering their way around it when they make these games on that console. So whatever kind of flaws the PS4 is going to have, do you really want to risk having an inferior port of a game like, let's say, Diablo 3 running on a PS4? Especially for an older game that already was released on, you know, the PC. Why would you take that risk? Alright, number 6. The PS4 cannot support backward compatibility for the PS3 controller. This basically forces you to waste money on expensive PlayStation 4 controllers that share already similar problems to the PS3 controller, such as the non-removable batteries. That's right. So you basically can't remove or take out the batteries of the PS4 controller, reports have it, just like the PS3. When the PS3 controller dies out, or the battery is over, it's finished, it's broken, it's dead, then that's it for that particular controller. And then basically you're left stuck to the console using that really short cord. The same problem may be attributed to the PS4 controller as well. And not just that, it doesn't even seem like the PS4 controller is that big of an improvement. Matter of fact, it just seems more gimmicky. It's got the touchpad, it's got the microphone thing, it's got the share button, and I'm not really sure if I want those kind of changes on my controller. I'm pretty fine and happy with a very simplistic basic controller where all I need is to use it to make the characters move on screen. Number 7. The PS4 will not feature exclusives found on the Wii U and Xbox 720, such as Halo, Mario, Zelda, and the Gears of War, and other exclusives for those companies and systems. This one's pretty basic and very easy to understand. When you have a PS4, you're not going to be able to play the other titles on other systems, simply because, well, it can't. It's not going to be featuring the Halos, or the Marios, or the Zeldas. It's stuck to its own games and third-party support. And while this may be good for Sony fans and purists and diehards, what about somebody like me who likes to experience multiple systems and multiple franchises and other flavors of gaming instead of just one particular company? I mean, a gamer is a gamer. A person who likes video games will play anything that's fun, and I like to experience many different types of experiences out there. So why should I buy a PS4 over a Wii U or an Xbox 720 when I can't find games available for those systems on the PS4? Number 8. New social features will be superfluous and useless for gamers, including the sharing videos and uploading to websites. I mean, come on. Do you really need some sort of share button? And this goes back to the controller, but this is specifically to that advertised social aspect of it, where they really want to focus on this whole uploading a video thing, kind of like they're trying to catch up to YouTube and that generation of people that like to upload vids. It's just ridiculous. I mean, why do you need that? I'm not really concerned about uploading clips of games. Like, who cares? People don't really do that today unless that's specifically their channel. And it just seems very useless and boring and a very gimmicky thing. Like, what kind of websites are we talking about here? GameSpot? YouTube? Video sharing websites? Like, what? Who cares? Well, I don't want to share the last 15 minutes of my gameplay online. Like, it's not a big deal to me. Growing up in the 90s and in the 2000s as a gamer, it's never been a concern. Like, what's the point? Like, wow, I don't care. Alright, number 9. Too much focus on gimmick devices such as the PS4i, the PS Vita connectivity, and companion devices, using tablets and smartphones to, somehow turn on the PS4 and download stuff. And the PS4i, I mean, do you really... am I looking for something like that? Not really. It's basically a Kinect type of thing, the PlayStation Eye, but it's like, okay, it's a motion sensor. Not really a big fan of motion sensors anyway. Maybe the casual fans or the Wii fans or something like that. Okay, I understand. And maybe it could enhance a game here and there, but I just don't see it being a key part of the actual experience. I could be wrong on this, but I'm not really looking for motion sensors or using the PS Vita as a... because who has a Vita? I mean, it's cool that it gets to connect because it's useful that way, but at the same time, it's like the Vita isn't that popular in the first place. So, why even... You see what I'm saying? There's no reason to be excited about it, because even if it's available, chances are I'm not going to use it. And number 10, to round out this list, the lack of games after launch will still linger and plague this new system. So despite the fact that there could be a consistent rush of games and consistent stream of releases for the PS4 after the launch, the problem is that it's going to suffer that brand new system feel. It may have a lot of publishers and developers working on games for it, but I just don't think it's going to have a lot. And it's going to take a year for it to actually have a strong library that's worthy. It seems like I predict that the PS4 will probably have maybe 20 to 30 games that is brand new and you check it out, but even some of the scheduled games available, it's like 2015, 2014, it's like later, much later. So why should I buy it right at the jump, right at the gate, like when it comes out? Why not just wait a year or 2 years after it comes out? Makes no sense. I mean, that's launch. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be playing, let's see, I'll be playing Watch Dogs and Killzone, and that's it. That's all you have available. Give me a break. Alright, so that's the top 10 reasons not to buy a PS4 at launch. And I underline launch, when it comes out, okay? There's no point of getting it at that time. These are my top 10 reasons. Obviously, everything could be completely wrong. It's not concrete. It's not finalized. And this is all based on speculation, rumors, and what we currently know of the system as of this moment. Alright, anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks. Alright, so this was the answer to the question of the day.